Hello Taurus. Great to have you here. My name is Shona. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Taurus. Little bit of an explanation by the end of your reading, but I just want to start with yours first to make up for last month. First of all, let me just relay a few messages that came in while I was shuffling, and then we'll go into the spread laid out in front of me here. First message, they say that this is a little bit of a pivotal month. You're making a lot of adjustment to your choices and your decisions. So I feel as if, last year a lot of things were stalled, but coming into 2018, things are freeing up. So that means you have the green light, but you're still kind of like not really sure what's the right thing, what's the right choice, or what's the wrong thing, what's the wrong choice. So you're kind of still on the fence about many of these decisions, okay? The second message here is they say you want to arrive at the optimal outcome, but with every gain, there is a loss in another area of your life. So it's almost like, for example, some of you want to move away. Some of you are just like anxious to get your own place, right? And move away from the family members or mom and dad or whoever it is that you're living with. So on the one hand, yes, you can gain a bigger space and freedom and independence. But on the other hand, there is, that financial outpouring that you would need to, pay for that extra space. So that's just an example. It's like you're starting to see that, there's no free lunch. You gain some and then you lose some. So I feel like because of that, you're a little bit more hesitant about making big decisions because you want to arrive at the best optimal outcome. But they're saying here the best optimal outcome doesn't exist. It's like you're going to gain some in some areas and then you're going to lose some in other areas. So this is kind of like where you are right now, where you're looking at, I want to say like decisions and also consequences, okay? And you're kind of weighing out the pros and cons of that. Third message here. They're saying that as well, don't beat yourself up over things. We always have to kind of like make decisions and then follow the course of the decision in order to learn, in order to see what we're supposed to learn from each individual decision or individual path. And so there isn't really a wrong choice. There is, however, decisions made in moments of weakness versus decisions made in the spirit of enlightenment. So I feel like distinguishing between those two and then vowing to yourself, I'm going to make decisions from now on from a place of enlightenment rather than from a place of fear, from a place of temptation, or from a place of weakness. Okay? The last message that I feel coming in is unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of decisions that you need to make for this month. You need to finalize some things for this month. And what you thought was all, a bed of roses, I feel like it's proving to be otherwise. So where are you going to go and what are you going to do? And it's interesting because they keep mentioning go as in, I feel like a lot of it has to do with geographical location changes for many of you, and then they're saying to do as well. So I feel like that's going to be in terms of work and in terms of proactively making a decision first in your mind before talking about it with another person. So it's like they're saying like try to filter out people's opinions and don't let people's expectations interfere with this decision, okay? So those are the 4 messages. Let me just go into this reading here. So as you well know, this is the format, the layout that I used for last year, but let me just go over the way it works. The first 8 cards are predictive cards, and this is your spiritual advice here. I am going to go over it in a little bit. So first of all, I have here the 7 of Cups, and the Prince of Swords. So this is like the Knight of Swords, okay? There is an air sign that we're dealing with here. This is an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra in your midst. And I feel like some of you have some mixed feelings about this person. On the one hand, this is somebody who is quite courageous, witty, quite intelligent. But I feel almost like in the past, they've said a lot of things or made a lot of decisions that they regret. And I also feel like there's a lot of talk here, but almost like a lack of follow through. And I feel for many of you, this is somebody that you're dealing with heavily. There is a strong sense of personal reliance on this person. It's almost like you rely on them to follow through with their end of the bargain. When they say something, you hold them to it. You kind of like, I guess, rely on them to follow through with their words, rely on them to give you all the information. So I feel like this is somebody who is a little bit hot-headed. They can as well. Very often they take charge of situations. You know, they're a little bit more on the impatient end. They take charge, they move things along. And I also feel like in the past, it's almost like if you're in a business partnership, a friendship, or even a romantic relationship with this person, it's almost like the relationship moved according to this person. So this person is like leading the way, whereas you might trail behind. This is the month where I feel like you're going to see this situation as, why am I constantly following the beck and call or following in the footsteps of the other person? And the Seven of Cups comes up as well. It's almost like looking at somebody as the ideal fantasy, but then the reality starts to dawn on you that, why am I constantly following the other person? Why am I not taking charge of a situation? Where is my free will and where is my sense of agency? So I feel like you are questioning as well the contributions that this air sign is putting into your life. You're also reassessing whether or not they're telling you the truth or giving you some type of a pipe dream. And you're also questioning whether, in particular, if a business partnership with this person is going to come to fruition. So I feel like there are a lot of questions here that I feel like there are a lot of things that are coming up regarding this person for this month. And this person might be, like a fixture in your life for quite some time. But this is the month where you're going to be really, it's like analyzing everything they say and dissecting and taking apart, disseminating all the things that they're saying. And I feel like they might have good intentions, but they do seem to me to be a little bit forgetful, or to be a little bit like like not as reliable as you would like. Okay. The second two cards here, we have here the Hangman and the Death card. So this combination denotes to me having to wait on decisions from other people. It's almost feeling like putting our needs first, making sacrifices in order to appease another person. So that means putting your needs secondary to another person. When someone comes into the picture, and I feel like it could very well be that air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, when they come into the picture, you kind of like drop everything that you're doing and then you cater to them. And then on top of that, I also feel with this Death card here, many of you are leaving that old way of doing behind. You're no longer putting your life on hold. You're making sacrifices so that you can move on ahead and not feel as if you are kind of like following along the whims of another person, rather than taking control of your life, or rather than doing what you prefer to do on your own. So I feel many of you towards, I want to say like the middle of this month, there will be major changes happening in your life. And I also feel there is movement. There's also like things that have been tied up, things that have been kind of held up, things that you were waiting on the decision of other people. You're going to get the green light, and you're definitely going to be able to know exactly which way you are forging ahead, okay? So the transition here happens, it seems to me, like around the middle of the month, or especially the reality starts to sink in, and decisions are discussed, decisions are made, and decisions are finalized. I also feel here, we have here the Ten of Cups and the Three of Wands. First of all, there will be a major visit, family members, loved ones, people that really make you sing with joy and contentment. They're going to be coming to visit you. So for some of you, you might have family members coming from overseas. This is a card here. Three of Wands is about waiting for your ship to come in. The Ten of Cups is about family members. It's about loved one. It's about having that sense of reunion, that sense of homecoming, being with people that are very like-minded, that understand you in and out. So I feel like some of you are waiting for some major visits from other people and people you care about. In particular, family members. They're making promises to come see you. I'm seeing like northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. So they might be coming from the northern hemisphere to see you in the southern hemisphere. I'm also feeling, or vice versa, but I feel like this is vast geographical distance that they're covering here. I'm also seeing as well, waiting on communication from loved ones and family members. And there's also that sense of distance that separates you. And altogether, there is going to be opportunities here for major family reunions, for major homecoming, for major getting back together with family members, reconciling or even reuniting with loved ones, reuniting as well with friends, childhood friends and relatives, even extended family members. So I feel that there is going to be a big sense of homecoming towards the middle of the month, okay? The other message that came out here with the Three of Wands, and I know this sounds a little bit strange, but I feel as if there is a health connotation here. Many of you are experiencing lower back pain. If that is the case, you need to do some, they're saying like doing some weights. I'm not a fitness instructor, okay? So I don't have any experience in this, but you know how when you go to the gym and you do weights to strengthen the lower back area? Try to do that. I feel many of you are experiencing lower back pain, and it has nothing to do with the bed in which you sleep on. I feel like it has to do with just the normal aging process and also that lower back pain. Okay, so I feel many of you are sore. I'm also feeling many of you needing to do some heavy stretches. Taking the proper time to do stretches before you do any extensive or intensive workout routine. So that means making sure you warm up your body, making sure you stretch adequately so that you can, you don't encounter any pulled ligaments, pulled muscles, or any sports injury, okay? I especially feel as well the lower back area, so please be careful about that. Give me just a moment. There is another message that is coming in as well. I do see some home decor for some of you. Home decor, getting the house ready, maybe because you have guests coming in. I'm also feeling as well, if you are taking trips and you're near water, be careful about your things falling into the water, okay? So if you're going sightseeing or whatever it is. So that's what I'm getting here, and it's actually very rare that health situations come out here with this Three of Wands. The last two cards that we have here, we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups usually denotes walking away from a situation that you've invested a lot of time in. And the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is basically not stooping down to another person's level, and the Five of Swords is usually doing things, and especially, if it's a negative end of the Five of Swords, it basically means kind of sacrificing your morals and your values in order to achieve something. But what I do feel happening here is I feel that many of you, this seems to me as if an argument cannot be won. It seems to me as if there might be some communication that is going to bring a situation down to reality for you. You're going to know exactly where you stand with another person, and you're going to know whether or not it's worth the investment to, continue with that friendship, continue with that relationship anymore. I'm also feeling as well, if there are harsh words, especially exchange between friends, then I feel that your family members are going to be the ones that will kind of come in and be that shoulder for you to rely on. And then I'm also feeling as well with this Eight of Cups, this is a situation where it's like nothing can be changed, nothing can be fixed, even though we've invested a lot of time in a situation. We know that we can't really continue the way that we have, and we're going to have to let people walk away if they choose not to reciprocate, or they choose not to stay in a relationship with us. So I do feel that this is a time where many of you are letting go of the control, and if the other person is not willing to be 100% on board, to be 100% committed, or to be 100% on the same page as you are, you're no longer forcing it, you're no longer controlling the situation. You're going to allow them to go, okay? Taurus, you are a fixed sign, and I feel like your energy plays out in a very similar manner to that of Aquarius and Leos. The other sign that's fixed is Scorpio, but I feel like it's very different with Scorpio. Scorpio is your opposite sign, so it's very different. The way that your energy manifests is that when you do things, you have a tendency to want to, like, okay, if I do this, what am I getting out of it? It's almost like wanting to control. It's wanting the outcome to be equivalent to the energy that you're putting in to do that work. So it's almost like, what am I getting out of it? And there's nothing wrong with it. You calculate things and you want to have the best optimal outcome. And I feel like for many of you, there might be situations where you have invested. It's like sunk cost, right? I've invested too much. If I were to leave now, I would forgo all of these initial investments. There's too much sunk cost that I cannot recoup. If I walk away now, I'm going to lose everything that I've put in. And so for many of you, you almost feel like it's not fair. You almost feel like maybe I should stay, that way I can recoup some loss. And I feel this is a situation where the longer we stay, the more dissatisfied we're going to be. And the longer we stay, the more we're going to lose out on a situation. So this is a big decision here that you're going to have to stay to really think about. Are you going to count the sunk cost, or are you going to be willing to just, okay, let it go? Material things can always be regained. I just need to move away from this for my own emotional well-being. So I feel like this is one of the major theme coming up too. It's like releasing something because emotionally it's better for you, rather than clinging on to it for that sense of security, even if emotionally you're so tired and you're just, you want to let it go. So in terms of the spiritual advice for you guys, so let me just talk about this. We have here the Lovers, choices, the Princess of Wands. And the Princess of Wands, this is like the Page of Wands, or the page of the page of, it's the Page of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So the Princess of Wands and the Page of Wands are interchangeable. And we have here the Five of Pentacles. First of all, I don't read this as a person. I read this as, news messages, things that are coming in. Wands usually indicate something that really, really sparks our passion, something that is, very inspiring. It's very exciting. So I would say inspiring and exciting news, new projects that are in the works, or news about people wanting you to get on board with them, wanting you to form a partnership with them, or wanting you to be a part of their business, to be a part of their venture, to be a part of their entrepreneurial endeavor. What I feel happening is, if you're waiting for some type of a partnership offer, and for those of you, I feel like, law school people, law associates especially, I do see quite a few doctors and a few dentists. If you're waiting for that offer to be made, an associate at a law firm, at a dental practice, at a medical practice, I feel that the money situation is going to be a little bit tight, so they might not pay you the amount that you're hoping for. I also feel as well, for those of you waiting for that partnership offer from a job, or waiting for a financial offer from a company, or even a job offer, there is a little bit of contraction when it comes to the business aspect. So I feel almost as if the money just isn't there for them to make that final offer, or they're going to make an offer that is below your financial expectations. So whether or not you go ahead with it, I feel like whether or not you go ahead with it, it's still going to be a really it's still going to be a good endeavor, but financially they might not have the money to pay you the amount that you're worth, or the amount that you're asking for. And then further along the line, I feel like there's some contraction within that company. So getting promotion, getting recognized, getting noticed, getting, even being able to transfer laterally is going to be a little bit challenging for you. So they're saying here, the new offer might look all, shiny and sweet, and on the surface, it might feel very exciting, but you want to as well really flush out the details. Okay, really flush out the details, ask them questions, and make sure that they're not just selling you this pipe dream. Okay, so I hope that is helpful for you guys. Once again, we win some and we lose some. So I feel like, you might make a decision where it's going to guarantee a certain gain in one area of your life, and it's going to also create like a little bit of a loss in another area of your life. And that's just the way that, things work. We can't have it, 100% perfect all the time. Some of us are lucky, but I feel like this is the month where you really, really have to look at, yes, I'm gaining this much, but are there losses in other areas? You have to look at a decision a little bit more holistically, I feel, is what, the spiritual advice is trying to tell you. At the same time, I'm going to go into your love reading in a little bit, but what I do feel here is, I do feel many of you are grappling with a major decision here. Should I stay in this relationship? There might be third party interfering in your relationship, but you can still stay in it, and you can justify staying in it because you don't want to take that financial loss. So this is some major deep decisions that you're going to have to do some soul searching on. But I feel that overall, enough's enough. Okay, don't think about the sunk cost. Think about the decision that you need to make to free yourself emotionally. Does that make sense? So I hope the reading has been helpful for you guys. So having done your reading, let me just explain a